guys, welcome back. We are going to put the artwork on the Pac-Man. We're going to put the Miss Pac-Man artwork on this cabinet. We're going to do the sides, the front, screen bezel, and the marquee. So we're basically going to get this wrapped up so that it can leave, hopefully, with the pinball cabinet, because same guy. So hopefully these will both leave at the same time. I think the first piece I want to do is the front art, because that sometimes can give you a bit of a problem with that coin door hole being there. So this cabinet's been sitting for a couple of weeks. It's dusty. So I'm going to take some window cleaner and we're going to wipe it down real quick as we do each panel. Now, I did have to cut a tiny bit off the cabinet on the top and bottom for the coin door, because he's putting one bill acceptor coin door in here, because it's going into a restaurant bar. If anybody wanted to convert it back to an original Pac-Man, put the original coin door in there. I made sure to take the same amount off from the top and bottom, so that if somebody did want to put it back to normal, they could, because this hole's still here and this hole's still here. So I didn't really have a choice but to cut it a little bit bigger to accommodate his coin door that's going in here. But at least it could still get the original coin door put on it. Once again, these are not my decisions. I just do what people ask me to do. And I know some people in the comments were asking me, like, why would you take a Pac-Man cabinet and turn it into a Miss Pac-Man? Because it was the cheapest midway cabinet that I could find. Other than building it, and to be honest with you, I got this cheaper than I could build it. So that's why this is becoming a Miss Pac-Man. Plus, it's going into a bar, restaurant, where kids are going to be playing on. It's going to get dirty, it's going to get dusty, filthy. So it is what it is, you know. Sometimes you can't always do what you would like to do. But we're going to make what he wants, but this is a really nice clean cabinet, and what I'm doing to it technically is not hurting it. It could still be put back to Pac-Man if somebody wanted to in the future. I highly doubt that'll ever happen. There's so many Pac-Man cabinets out there. Okay, so let's grab the front art here, see how it fits. So I need to kind of find a happy spot here. So what I'm going to do is kind of hold it like this. And it's printed, the blue part's printed pretty much about the identical width of the cabinet from outside to outside. So that's good. So that's pretty much centered there. And then the other thing I want to do is make sure that Miss Pac-Man's head's not going to be in the way of the coin door. I think I'm going to peel this a little bit and temporarily stick it on there and see. Now I'm going to grab a tape measure and we're going to measure this. Okay, I'll go grab a tape measure so I can measure from this yellow stripe to the top edge of the cabinet, because right now it looks a little crooked, and I think no, I'm not high. Boy, I'm going to look at a picture too. Okay. This stripe is real close to the bottom of the control panel, because right now we're into the coin door area, so I need to bring it up a little higher. Like I said, front art is usually the pain in the butt artwork, with the coin door hole being there. 2 5/8, 1 1/2, so it's gotta go that way. About 2 inches on that side, 1 3/4, so it could stand to go that way another 1/8 inch or so. Piece of dirt on the back of the vinyl. Get that off of there. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work here. 1 7/8. Perfect. I'm happy with that. And if I look right here, if I run my finger along the top edge, this yellow stripe's going nice and straight with that top edge. And then I have about 1/2 inch down here. So once that ring of the coin door goes on there, it should work out pretty well. So now what we need to do is kind of go right to left here. So slowly come down on each side. Air bubble. There we go. If you remember when I did the artwork on the pole position, to get some air bubbles, use your finger and try to work them out. It's the easiest way I've found to do it. There's a couple little specks, but that's a little bit of dirt in the paint. If you are painting your cabinet and you might have a couple little specks of dirt, you could take some sandpaper and lightly sand your cabinet and then wash it with your window cleaner before you put your artwork on, and that'll take care of any little nibs. And this, I think these couple little spots of dirt I have behind the vinyl came from me peeling it off and on, but I'm not too concerned about it on this one. Very, very minute. Okay, we're gonna take the rest of the paper off the back. Just gonna kind of let this relax down. Okay, that actually turned out really nice. Okay, now what I'm going to do is grab a metal Bondo spreader You can use a metal drywall knife too, would work as well. But we're just taking one of these, and I'm gonna go along the edge here. First, I should probably cut the top first. I'll run my knife right on the edge of this wood. We're going to take our metal knife, make sure it's pushed into the corner really good. And just run it down the cabinet with your knife blade. One more side to do, and we'll cut our coin door, and we'll be ready to put the side art on. Okay, there it is. That looks really good, nice and straight. So let me get prepared now, and we will work on the side next. I think that looks really good. Okay, I'm going to work on getting the artwork on the side now. I wiped this side down already with the window cleaner, so I need to get the artwork positioned on the cabinet somewhat straight here. I'm going to use these clamps like I did on the pole position cabinet that we did. Just got to see which side is right here. I think this is the right one. I'm using the vent hole on the back door. You might have to take the back door off. whatever we position this at on this side, we'll duplicate it on the other side. Actually, I forgot this top is curved. So we're going to kind of pick 2 points here. 5.5, 5.25. Pretty close there. I might have no choice but to cut a slot right here so I can put my clamp to hold it. Okay, that'll hold it. We can take some measurements off the bottom of the cabinet to the artwork, and that'll give us a good idea if we're straight. And we're about 3/4 inch off the back, up there. So technically, we are really crooked because I was measuring off that curve, and we need to lower it down too. Okay, so we need to lower it down quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is loosen this one up, let this fall down to there. Let's see how we look. Getting closer. Still got to come down about 1 inch or so. So let's do that again. We have plenty of blue up here. Ooh, pretty close. We're good on the bottom. I think we got it. We got kind of lucky there. Yes, we did. Make sure this is going to fit everywhere. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now we have to peel it top back so we can get the top stuck, and then we can, once we get the top, I hate having to cut this like that because a lot of times it causes a problem when you're taking the backing off. Remember, when we did the pole position, stay away from the wood. Don't let your knife run against that wood because it'll put a groove in the wood and you'll see it through your artwork. Okay. Got the hard part sort of done. If I can get past this paper edge where I had to notch it, I'll be doing good. As you see, I'm doing this a little differently than I did the pole position. And the reason being is this vinyl is more what I'm used to. So I kind of know how to control this vinyl a little bit better than I did that screen printed vinyl on the pole position cabinet. See this right here? Sprinkle, show it to you. Okay, see that? I don't want to take my squeegee and just start cramming on it, because you could fold it over and give yourself a crease. But by slowly rubbing it out with my hand, it's gone. Now we can take our squeegee over it. I'm using a felt tip squeegee this time, so I don't have to have my towel with me. I just didn't have one of these out here the other day when we were doing the pole position. So now I can get this finished off. Oh, we got an air bubble. Got a pretty good size air bubble right here. Let's see if we can rub this one out. So look at the size, how big that one is. That's huge. That's like half the length of my index finger. But we're going to gently kind of go around here and see if we can't get this one out. This one might be a hard one. Might have to take it to the edge. Gone. So we did not have to take it to the edge. Got another one over here. All right, that's gone. This artwork, we did not print this. I ordered it from a guy off of eBay, which I'm not too happy with the guy, but I'm not going to talk bad about him because I don't know the guy and I don't really want to get into it, but some things came wrong, so we have to print some artwork for the screen bezel and stuff to correct the problem because I want to get this finished. We didn't print this because we need to order more ink and stuff for our printer, and we've just been really busy, so it was just easier for me to just order this and not have, this is one less thing I had to worry about, you know, and then it comes and stuff's wrong. So guess what? I'm still worrying about it. So I should have just printed it in the end, but just trying to save myself a little time and headache, and still ended up with a headache. But I got to give them credit. It's good material. I'm not going to give the name out or anything like that. And it is laminated, so there is a lamination over it, which will definitely hold up very well in a restaurant situation, because you get grease and oil and dirt on this, you can wash it off. If you have vinyl that is not have a clear laminate over it, it's going to stain, and you're not going to be able to wash it off. And what will happen over time is if somebody takes like Windex or something like that and keeps spraying down the side of the cabinet and wiping it, let's say every couple days you're wiping down the cabinet, they're eventually going to start wearing the ink off of the vinyl. So having a laminate over top is definitely the way to go. For home use, like when we print some stuff for our home games, I don't laminate them, but people aren't rubbing their hands all over them and touching them and all that stuff. And also, they say that lamination helps with UV protection. We have done some signs that we did not laminate, and they sat outside for years and they never faded or anything. And I always like to rub my hand on it just to make sure I don't feel any air bubbles. I got one right here. This one we could probably just take it out because it was right at the edge. This one we can't. We gotta rub that one. I like to apply my artwork without water, or soapy water, or what's that stuff called? Rapid tack. I don't like using that stuff. I think it creates more air bubbles because you trap water underneath it, or rapid tack formula, whatever it is. So I've always had better luck applying it dry. Okay. Now we're going to do like we did on the pole position. We are going to, the back edge we just got to cut because there's no T-molding. T-molding starts here. My camera, I'm trying to get the whole cabinet in the camera, but I'm kind of crammed in here right now. So basically from here up, there's T-molding on the back side. So the rest of it, we just got to trim it flush with the edge. So I just run my knife right down that cabinet edge. Same thing on the bottom. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do like we did on the pole position, and we are going to cut it in the center of the groove for the T-molding. Now I did get kind of close right here on this one spot, but it'll be okay. Because I had cut that slot for the clamp, and then I had to readjust the artwork so far over that I almost ran out of room on the vinyl. Kind of got lucky, actually. So when I come to a corner, I go about 1/4 inch from the cabinet, and then I bring it around. Now, laminated vinyl is a little bit harder to wrap this edge because it's a lot thicker. So you gotta kind of really work at it. And then I want to get the T-molding on this side right away. And I'm not going to record me putting the vinyl on the other side. Just do one side on camera, and then I'll do the other side off camera, and then I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. And then I got to do the screen bezel. Gonna have to run up to the house so I can print that. So this cabinet is for one of my buddies that I'm doing the pinball for. He did, he rebuilt the monitor for my Tempest, and he spent a lot of time on it and did a lot of extra stuff that I never even thought he was gonna do. And he didn't charge me for any of the extra stuff he did. So in exchange, I'm kind of doing this cabinet. I'm doing this cabinet for him at cost. Not charging him any labor, just doing it because I'm just returning the favor. Okay. Cut this right here. We're probably going to have to kind of mess with this vinyl as I'm putting the T-molding on. I'm going to do that as soon as I finish the artwork on this side. And then I'll do the other side off camera. And then we'll come back, look at it, and then got to do the screen bezel and the marquee. The marquee is just a printed on Translite, and we're just going to put it behind some plexiglass. And the T-molding does run under here a little bit, about back to there. Okay, let me go get a rubber mallet. Okay, got our pink T-molding here. I always like to start at the top and work my way to the bottom. A lot of people lay the cabinets down to put it on. Now these curves are usually subtle enough to not have to cut the back of the T-mold. You gotta grab my chair because my knee's still a little sore right here and there, so I don't like to squat down too much. Now, if this was getting restored for somebody's house, I would paint this on. I would not use vinyl. Now this bottom edge, I'm going to have to notch the back side of the T-molding. Put a little V cut in it, so that it'll bend the corner. That bottom does not want to stay on there. I think I'm a little long. So we're gonna have to get the heat gun out, or the glue gun out. Hot glue gun. And go get that, get it warmed up, and we're gonna have to glue the bottom of that on. We can staple it if we need to, but let me go grab that. Okay, the glue gun should be hot by now. It's been sitting there for a couple minutes. Now, normally, I like to put the glue into the groove, which I will on this front edge, but on the bottom, I'm just gonna have to kind of put it on the T-molding and then push it up there. Because I need to put it on this lower front edge too, because this is bulging out a little bit when I try to wrap it around, because this slot is a little loose right here. And this is the easiest way to fix a T-molding groove slot that's a little too big or sloppy. You wanna, I always have good luck with the hot glue. Might have to go get another glue stick. Yep, I'm gonna go grab another glue stick. Forgot those are the short ones. Put a good amount in there. You don't want to not put enough. And then I like to hold it for a minute. Make sure it sticks. And then I tap on it with my hammer a little bit. I've tried, I'm gonna let that sit for a second. I've tried all the tricks of T-molding. I've tried putting tape on the back of this to make it fatter. I've tried bondoing in the groove. That works most of the time. It works good on a plywood cabinet. Doesn't work so well on a particle board cabinet, because when you run the router, it likes to shoot the bondo back out of the groove because of the particle board. And the best method of all is the hot glue gun, in my opinion. With all the T-molding I've put on, I think it works the best. So now I'm gonna put a liberal amount on the center of this T-molding. We're going to shove it up in there. And we could put a staple on the bottom if we need to. Staple it into the wood. But I think it's going to be fine. Okay, it's looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side off camera, and then we will come back and work on the marquee, which I need to cut a piece of plexiglass for. And I have the piece of plexiglass for the screen bezel. Now we went with plexiglass and we went with a light smoke gray. That's what he wanted. So by using a light smoke gray, we had to put the artwork on the outside. So we're going to put the screen bezel on the outside of the plexi. I think this is Lexan, polycarbonate, which I think is polycarbonate, I think is Lexan, but I could be wrong. But anyways, we're gonna put the artwork on the outside and we're gonna put a textured laminate on it. Same type of textured laminate that the control panel gets, which we're not doing anything with the control panel. He has that, so he's gonna take care of that. But anyways, on the screen bezel, we're gonna put the textured laminate like a control panel has on it. The reason why we're doing that is, once again, people rubbing on it with their hands and stuff like that, it's not gonna wear down. So, all right, I'm gonna get the other side done and then I'll be back. Okay, I got about half of the other side on so far. One thing I don't like about this artwork, and I know because we print artwork, is we usually will print cabinet artwork at 300 DPI, which is dots per inch. That's how much ink gets applied to your vinyl. If looking at the blue on this, in my opinion, I think this was printed at 150 DPI, and here's why I think that. Because if you look up real close, you can't see it on camera. I wish I can get it to focus on camera. On camera, it looks perfect. So now you can sort of see it. See this lines? The lines in the ink? And in person, you can see a little bit of whiteness. My guess is it was printed at a lower DPI to save money, because when you print at a lower DPI, you're not wasting as much ink. But I like a real saturated color myself, especially on a cabinet like this, because, I mean, standing 2 feet back, you don't see it. I just noticed it because I'm putting it on and I'm right up against it. But, you know, normally these cabinets were painted, so obviously the paint was a complete blue color. It didn't have like little tiny stripes of banding in it, but it is what it is. Not really much you can do about it. Okay, artwork is on both sides. Demolding is on. Now we are going to work on the marquee next. The screen bezel is printing here. Hopefully we have enough ink left, because we still haven't ordered ink. So I'm hoping that we have enough to get that done. Worst case scenario, if he can take the cabinet, I can always give him the screen bezel later. He's not ready to put it together yet. So I do have a bunch of 3/16 Lexan. I'm gonna cut this down to fit this opening here. I'm just gonna do that off camera. It's dark outside. I'm just gonna use my saw that's in my van, because I don't want to set up my saw in the shop. But let's open up this marquee, make sure that's right, because I haven't even opened this box yet. Hopefully this is the correct one. Okay, let's see if it fits. I'm not putting the light in. He can put a light in, whatever he wants to do with it. I think it'll just make it. Okay, so I gotta get the plexiglass cut. So I'm gonna go do that. And then we'll come back and we're gonna have to tape this onto the back side of the plexiglass. And then we can put it in place. Okay, let's trim this down. Get the white off the edges here. Just use my scissors. Now, if I were doing a Miss Pac-Man for myself, for my basement, I would get the artwork applied to glass, screen printed to glass, whoever makes those. I don't know if Phoenix Arcade offers that or not. or at least Lexan with it printed and at least adhered to the back. But we're going to do this the old-fashioned way, and we're going to use a little bit of tape on the edge just to hold it onto the plexi, and then the tape will get covered up by the top and bottom metals that hold it on. Another trick here is you can carefully slide your scissors if you're pretty good at cutting straight, rather than having to all the way down. I'm not going to worry about that little bit of white that's going to get covered by the upper and lower brackets. Let me grab this piece of plexi here. Let's take off the we'll just take off the plastic on the back side first. Get a paper towel. Oh, it's right here. Okay, I'll wash this real quick. This weekend I want to try to get the pole position wrapped up, and then I'm going to start on these 2 Stargate cabinets finally. So we're just going to stick it this way. Man, it's going to be real close on this artwork. That's all right. That should be fine. I'm just gonna use some electrical tape. It's actually might tape a little bit better like that. So what I'm gonna do is take some electrical tape here, just catch the edge of that artwork by like 1/8 of an inch. Then we're gonna wrap it over the edge and the other side. And that will get covered up with the metal that holds the marquee in place. Just gonna do it on the top and bottom. You don't want to do it on the sides. Some of these Pac-Man cabinets, or some of the like Galaga and stuff, they have a piece of plastic that slides on the 2 ends. I think it's Galaga. I don't know if Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man had that piece of plastic or not. And I've noticed with some of this Translite that you print on, you can't go putting an LED bulb behind it, or at least like a pure white one, because it drowns out the artwork. And I can already tell a little bit. I think this artwork's going to be a little washed out. Once again, probably by the quality of the print, how many DPIs it was printed at. Oh man, I forgot to take the plastic off the front, and I stuck the tape to it. We're getting it. It's not horrible, but definitely you could tell that it could have used a higher resolution print, but it'll be fine. Getting a little too critical on something that's just going to sit in a restaurant bar. Okay, let me grab the metals, because I'd forgotten to spray paint those, so I spray painted them about 10 minutes ago. I got to find the screws that hold it in, but hopefully should be dry enough for me to touch. All right. I'll have to wipe my fingerprints off of it. It'll come off. I always like to put the bottom bracket on first. Okay, the only thing left to do really is the screen bezel. Get a little bit of glass cleaner on this paper towel here and I'll wipe off my fingerprint. There we go. Okay, so that is done. Doesn't look too bad. Screen bezel, and I do have these brackets I need to put back on for the control panel. So I guess I could do that real quick. I'm grabbing the screws for that. I gotta go get a Phillips bit. Once that's done, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have the screen bezel will be printed. Hopefully I have enough ink in the printer. It's definitely on low, and it says cartridge low, and it's at a really low percentage. Okay, stick on these brackets. If I remember how they go. Couple more things. I did clean all these brackets up on the wire wheel on my grinder, bench grinder. Gotta grab a couple more screws. I'm using the screws that came out of the cabinet. Some of them might not be correct, but it's what they came out with. Okay. All right. So those are all in. Now it's going to go check on the screen bezel. Okay, let's work on getting this screen bezel on. so I can call it a night. I marked on the back, this is the top. So I'm gonna leave the backing on right now. Just peel the top off. This is an extra piece that they sent. I ordered this stuff and I gave them the measurements. So they cut it for me. And when they cut it, they give you the extra piece, which I really don't have any use for. Just throw it away. So I want to peel off the plastic on the front side here. They really tape this thing up. Okay, so what we're going to do is clamp this on here. We're going to have to do this a little differently than normal. The center is not cut out yet. So what I'm going to do is get this where I want it. The blue is a little lighter in color because that's all we could find for a file on the art. So that's what it gets. Okay. We're going to have to wet the center of this screen because we don't really want the center to stick really hard. Okay, happy with that, that's good. So let's peel this back. We're going to take some window cleaner here and concentrate on the center of this with quite a bit. Find my, there it is. Okay. Peel the rest of the paper off, get the vinyl down, and then we're going to cut the center. And when you cut the center, unfortunately, you do scratch the plexiglass, but you'll never see the scratch because it's covered by the vinyl. This is why I hate putting liquid, because you get stupid water bubbles. Okay, I'm not gonna use a straight edge. I'm just gonna follow the black line. See, if I would not have put that window cleaner on there, it would have really stuck. And it would probably leave a residue on the plexiglass. A couple little spots I need to trim up, but that's not a big deal. Now this white band is showing a little bit, but once it slides up in the cabinet, it won't show. Or let me rephrase that, it shouldn't show. If for some reason it does show, we'll just use a black Sharpie on it, but it should not show. God, what a mess. Okay, let's go see if it fits, see how it fits. There it is. It is done. Another one out the door. So hopefully these little tips helped anybody who's putting artwork on, T-molding on, a screen bezel on the outside. Just to show you an easy way to do it. Because we have a cutter too, so when you print, you can cut afterwards. And the printer will leave like marks in the corners, and the cutter will know where to cut out the center. Problem is when you cut out the center, if you don't put masking on the front side, you'll have a real hard time putting it on. I just cut it with my knife. I don't mind doing it that way, but some people, might not want to do that. But all right, guys, that's going to end this video. That's going to end this restore of this cabinet. It's on to the owner. And if you guys are liking what you're seeing, please like, subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Other than that, I will see you guys later.